A very good morning, dear students. The topic that we will be discussing today is the traditional institutions of Meghalaya. So, a little bit about the state of Meghalaya. The state of Meghalaya was carved out of the Assam Hill area that sprawl along a southern frontier with Bangladesh and act as a natural barriers. So, the autonomous states of Meghalaya came into being on April 2nd, 1970, attaining its statehood on the January 21st, 1972. The state of Meghalaya comprised of three major tribes of Khasis and Jaintia and the Garos, with a total population of 17,74,779 and the areas of 22,429 square kilometer. The Garos, the Khasis, and the Jaintia were the indigenous tribes of the northeast India. The Garos, the Khasis, and the Jaintias of Meghalaya are purely matrilineal society, and as such, the descent of an individual, either man or woman, is always reckoned and traced from the mother alone. The matrilineal system gave the woman, the wife, and the mother a social rather than a personal standing. So there are three traditional institutions of Meghalaya. One is the Nagma, two is the Aimship, and the third one is the Daloship. But in this class, we'll discuss only about one traditional institution of Meghalaya, that is the Nagma. The local self-government. The local self-government in India refer to a governmental jurisdiction below the level of the state. So the local self-government means that the resident in town, villages and rural settlement are the hosts in their own home. People elect local councils and the head authorizing them to solve the most important issue. So the local government bodies are responsible for school and preschool education, primary health care, public order, street lighting, roads, and so many important day-to-day issues. So this local self-government is in a district are normally the district board, the local boards, the municipalities, notified areas committees, and the Gram Panchayat. So the Panchayati Raj is also called as a local self-government because it deals with the decentralized governance and administration of people at the local and basic level in the villages, panchayat and small town. So the another meaning of jurisdiction is the official power to make legal decision and judgment. So you note that the local self-government in India refer to the governmental jurisdiction below the level of the state, or jurisdiction here under the control of so and so. That means the governmental jurisdiction or the governmental control, okay, in the level of the state. Jurisdiction, the power that an official or court of law has to enforce laws or to carry out judgment, an area in which a court and system of law has authority. So there are many types of jurisdiction. We have the subject matter jurisdiction, appellate jurisdiction, original jurisdiction, concurrent jurisdiction, territorial jurisdiction, and personal jurisdiction. For example, let's read the personal jurisdiction. Personal jurisdiction here means the authority over a person regardless of the location. So the local self-government is an important feature of the Indian political system aimed at ensuring the direct participation of the people in the matters of the governance at the grassroots level. So the power in the government section, okay, it's being decentralized into three, that is the central government, state government, and the local self-government. Here the local self-government, okay, it ensures the direct participation of the people. That means the people, okay, play a very important role in the local self-government. Why? Because it deals with the decentralized governance and administration of people at a local and the basic level in the village, panchayat and small town. So these institutions have been in existence in India since the ancient times. They suffered a setback during a British rule. So here these traditional institution, okay, though they exist, okay, since the British rule, but they suffer setback during the British rule. It is because of the economic exploitation by the British as well as the political disadvantage. However, after independence, the framer of the constitution decided to give them the importance and directed the states to organize such institution as unit of self-government, Article 40. So here the framer of the constitution of India, like they were fully aware of the need to ensure the social cultural identities of the tribal people, as well as the need to introduce a social, economic reconstruction and development of all areas and people of India. So that is why, while giving a directive, while giving a directive to the state to organize village panchayat and other institutions of the local self-government, the founding fathers of modern India also provided for the continuance of the traditional institution of the tribal people, particularly those living in India northeast. So they show respect for the local tribal institution and took the decision to ensure the autonomy within the framework of Indian sovereignty, territorial integrity, and supremacy, autonomy within the framework, okay, of the Constitution of India. So, along with this, the state got the directive to take special steps for promoting the cultural identity and interests of the people of belonging to weaker section of the society. In particular, this interest of the person belonging to the Shell caste and Shell tribe. So, institution of the Nagmaship. Okay, the Nagmaship is the earliest social institution of the Garo society. So, by tradition, he is the head of the clan. Okay, note that by tradition, the Nogma is the head of the clan and the custodian authority of the land and property of his wife and her clan. So, there are two traditional institution agencies of the Garos, where the Nagmaship and the village council. So the institution of Nagmaship is as old as the first settlement of the Garos in the Garo Hill. So the Nogma was the leader of the Garo clan. So with the passage of time, various types of Nogmas develop in the Garo Hills. So number one, we have the Chalang Nogma, a man who is physically strong and has wisdom. So this man, he lead his people against the enemy, but he does not enjoy political power. Okay, note that the Chalang Nokma, okay, though is a man who is physically strong, okay, and has wisdom, as well as he leads his people against the enemy, but he does not enjoy any political power. The second type of Nogma is the Gamni Nogma. So he is a man who possesses vast wealth, is known as the Gamni Nogma. He is respected by the people due to his wealth, but he does not have any political power. So the Gamni Nogma, okay, is a man who possesses or own the wealth, but okay, he is respected by the people due to his wealth, but he does not have any political power. The third one is the Gana Nogma. He is a rich man of the village, and in order to gain social prestige, he performed Gana ceremony, that is grand feast to all the villagers. So as a symbol of recognition of the Nagmaship, he wears a thick metal ring called the Jaksil round his elbow. So the Gana Nogma is respected by the people but has no political power. So the point number 4 is the Mitani Nogma. The term Mite, okay, means good or evil spirit. Hence, it means the Nogma of the spirit. Such Nogma firmly believed that sacrifices should be offered to a particular deity, or the another meaning of deity is a god or goddess, and feast to the people in a year or 2 years to avoid any calamity. People who offered such sacrifices and feasts regularly are called the Mitini Nogma. Mitini Nogma does not have any political power. So I've mentioned about the Chalang Nogma, the Gamni Nogma, the Gani Nogma, and the Mitini Nogma. All these four Nogma, though they are being respected by the people, though they lead the people, though they have wealth, though they perform many ceremony, or they offered prayer or sacrifices to different particular deity, yet they do not have the political power. So let's say about the a king Nogma, which have the political power. So this a king Nogma, the term a king from the word a king, which means a claim land. The Garo Hills District Council under Act Number 1 of 1960 defined a king as a land held by a clan or a machong under the custody of the head of such clan or machong called the Nogma, which was recognized as such by the district council. So a king Nogma is the head of the clan, a man who becomes a king Nogma by virtue of his relationship to the woman who is the head of the village community. A king Nogma enjoys political and administrative power. So a little bit about the history of the indigenous institution, during the pre-British period. So listen carefully, let me explain. So prior to the advent of the British into the Garo Hills area, all the civil and criminal cases were tried and settled by the tribal chief known as the King Nogma, assisted by the village Nogmas and the council. So the King Nogma were in all the civil administration of justice, and the welfare of his subject within his kingdom. So they are all independent of each other and subject to none. So the proceeding of the cases were not recorded, and every decision and judgment were oral but binding on the offender. The village elders took part in the mela or the meeting, argued the cases, and gave decision according to the customary laws and practices. So that is why we have many traditional institutions in Meghalaya, but the Garos manage and retain the king Nagmaship till the present generation. Note that the only Nogma that enjoy the political and administrative power is the king Nogma. So let us say the position and status of the Nogma king. A king Nogma occupies an important place in the society. Why? Because he have the political as well as the administrative power. So the king Nogma is the pivot or a king with responsibility of the village organization. So he have many of his responsibility, as well as the Nogma plays a leading role in the activities of the villages, of the village, and in fact Nogma is a social and economic representative of the villages. And then his other powers is that the king Nogma has a power to settle dispute, power to order and exile or impose ban on a wrongdoer, a power to preserve and ensure proper use of forests and lands, power to sell lands, power to tax, power to regulate the settlement of the landless people. So in today's class we have discussed about the local self-government, as well as a little bit of the history of Meghalaya and the Nogma related to the Garo Hills. So the Nagmaship was a traditional political institution in the Garo Hills. The head of this institution is the Nogma. Generally, there were 4 types of Nogma. These were the Gamni Nogma, the Chalang Nogma, the Gana Nogma, and the Mitini Nogma, as well as a King Nogma. The Nagmaship was a hereditary institution, and the succession through office was through the female line. So the Nokma is to manage those lands which are common property of the villages. Generally, the land is divided among the people. Also, the Nokma themselves were given a plot of land for the cultivation. If there is any feast or festival in the village, the Nokma will organize everything. And out of these four types of Nokma, it is the duty of the king Nokma to maintain peace and order in the village, to settle any dispute, to report all the birth and death in the village, and also any other matter which is of great importance to the village authority. They are also entrusted with the duty to control the jhum cultivation. So, like in Jaintia, okay, also in Garo Hills, all the powers and function of the Nagmaship were transferred to the district council. So, let me remind you, okay, the meaning of district council. It is that the district council are designed to help the tribal people to maintain the cultural and territorial identity and yet encourage them to join the process of national socio-economic development. These are the instrument of self-rule of the tribal people and help them to maintain the distinct identity of the area and culture. So thank you students. Have a nice day.